좀. 안녕하세요. 매일매일 운동을 하고 있습니다. 오늘은 택배 언박싱을 추가를 할 건데요. 맨날 운동만 한다고 말도 없이 이러면 누가 영상을 보겠느냐는 제 구독자분들의 항의가 있어서 택배 언박싱을 컨텐츠로 추가를 하도록 하겠습니다. 갑자기 현타가 오네요. 오늘 택배가 2개가 와 있는데 택배를 뜯도록 하겠습니다. 제가 정말 하루에 30분씩 운동을 하고 있는데 최대 30분 안 할 때도 있지만 운동이 하기 싫어서 택배를 뜯는 영상을 추가한 건 절대 아닙니다. 양질의 컨텐츠를 위해서. 오늘도 셔츠를 입고 있는데 운동이 하기 싫어서 입고 있는 게 아니고 외출했다가 바로 들어와서 빈둥대다가 옷 갈아입고 씻고 그러면 운동이 하기가 싫어집니다. 무조건 그냥 바로 하겠습니다. 일단 택배를 언박싱을 하도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 택배 2개가 와 있는데 어떤 건지 한번 뜯어보도록 하죠. 주소를 항상 택배를 버릴 때는 항상 이 주소, 이 스티커를 따로 버려주세요. 박스랑. 무서운 세상입니다. 첫 번째 박스 택배는 영양제입니다. 영양제. 잘 안 보이네요. 오, 영양제인데 포장이 선물용으로 딱 보기 좋게 이게 포장이 되어 있네요. 하루습관 멀티비타민 미네랄 하루에 한 알 먹는 겁니다. 제가 기존에 먹던 것도 비타민이 있긴 있는데 그것도 하루에 한 알 먹는 겁니다. 막 하루에 2번 챙겨 먹고 막 귀찮습니다. 하루에 딱 한 알 그냥. 두 번째 택배를 뜯도록 하겠습니다. 두 번째 택배는 제 거지. 이렇게 보면은 파파레서피의 필오브팩 마스크팩입니다. 4종 세트. 요번에 신제품 나왔죠. 네. 저는 주로 헬스를 하는데 갑자기 이제 비타민 나오고 필오브팩 4개 세트. 뷰티 유튜버가 됐습니다. 마스크팩 4개입니다. 마스크팩 4개랑 4종이랑 그다음에 지금 사은품으로 이거 뭐야 그 얼굴에 바르면은 그 모공에서 이게 그 부스터 이렇게 모공에 있는 그런 블랙헤드랑 그 피지 같은 게 이제 빼내기 좋게 하는 겁니다. 이렇게 실리콘팩 브러쉬까지 주네요. 여러 가지 이제 이렇게 샘플들과 파파레서피의 모델인데 누구지? 그 제국의 아이돌 그렇게 말하면 안 돼요. 너무 늙은 게 티가 나죠. 네, 이렇게 여러 가지 뭐 그냥 손편지들이 있습니다. 제가 파파레서피에서 그 마스크팩을 원래 썼었어요. 제가 어떤 거를 썼냐면은 파파레서피의 이 클레이 팩폼입니다. 그 샤워하고 나서 얼굴에 바르고 한 3분 정도 있다가 그냥 씻어내면 돼요. 엄청 편하죠. 근데 솔직히 이거를 제가 이제 세 통째인데 이것도 이제 다 써서 이제 이거를 새로 산 건데 각질이나 이제 그런 거는 효과를 솔직히 잘 못 봤습니다. 저는 이제 여기 보면은 모공이 코에 엄청 많은데 거기에 있는 그거를 빼내고 싶어요. 그래서 이거를 산 겁니다. 이 검은색이 그 숱이어가지고 이게 제일 강한 건데 이거는 일주일에 한 번 쓸 거고요. 나머지 세 개는 뭐 수요일이나 이럴 때 일주일에 중간에 한 번 정도 더 써서 일주일에 2번 팩하는 걸로 해보겠습니다. 이것도 제가 나중에 쓰고 나서 후기를, 오늘은 운동 끝나면 이걸 한번 검은색으로 할 거예요. 직접적인 후기는 쓰지 않겠습니다. 저는 헬스 유튜버이기 때문에. 택배 언박싱을 여기서 끝내고 운동을 하도록 하겠습니다. 몇 분이지? 6분. 24분 남았네요. 일단 이거 화장실에 갖다 놓고 이따가 갖다 놓고 운동을 하겠습니다.
Will now depart the shores of Gibraltar this evening. This after a 3-day delay, seemingly inexplicable. There have been some reports that some parts on the tanker needed to be replaced, that the tanker also had to be re-registered once it had lost its Panamanian flag in place of an Iranian flag, and also that the Indian captain had to be replaced by an Iranian captain. So now we believe, according to the Iranian ambassador, that the Grace 1 tanker should set sail this evening. Now, this all happening despite a last-ditch effort by the U.S. Justice Department to seize the contents of that tanker. According to an unsealed arrest warrant, the U.S. essentially saying that on board the Grace 1 were nearly $1 million in cash and petroleum that was being used by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, which the U.S. designated a terrorist organization back in April, to be smuggled to the regime of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Well, today, Gibraltar authorities released their reasons for not adhering to the U.S.'s request, essentially saying that Gibraltar adheres to EU law, and under EU law, the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, is not regarded as a terrorist organization. So the Grace 1 tanker essentially free to go on. The question now is where it will go, and beyond that, does this now mean, in a sort of expected act of tit for tat, that the Iranians will go ahead and release the British tanker that they have been holding since July? A lot of people expecting that to happen, but we don't yet have a sense of when that might be. Becky?
Pleasure Watch reporting for you live from Tehran. Still to come on this show, I'm out of London for you. It is a new day for Sudan. After months of protests, how a new agreement puts Sudan one step closer to full democracy. And later scrapped plans for a US lawmaker to visit Israel sparked fierce controversy this weekend. We are live on that story out of Jerusalem for you. Taking a very short break, back after this.
Saturday on CNN.
Denise Ho was one of the most prominent faces of the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong, a city where protesters are fighting for greater freedom from mainland China.
This is only the beginning.
She has taken their cause to the world stage, angering Beijing. This month, we sit down with the singer-turned-activist in Hong Kong as the city faces its worst political turmoil in decades.
Some protesters are calling for a revolution. Is that what is happening right now?
Saw Asia, Wednesday on CNN. pressure of competition, the focus it demands.
When you're in that ring for that 90 seconds, everything else just kind of fades away. You're focused on you and your horse.
Follow all of the drama in the Longines Global Champions Tour and Global Champions League as the best show jumpers in the world compete for the top prize. CNN Equestrian Global Champions, Thursday on CNN.
Well, today is the day, and they know it. It seems any time now, Sudan's military leaders set to share power with the very same people who have been opposing their very existence for months. A huge step, and you can see that through the celebrations of these people here. And this all comes after months of deadly protest toppled the former 30-year-old dictator Omar al-Bashir. CNN's international correspondent Nima Al was on the ground in the country's capital during those dramatic protests.
We're trying to get up high to show you exactly how many people are here. It's completely extraordinary.
Well, Nima joining me now in the studio. That was mid-April. We are now mid-August. Is this really a new dawn for Sudan?
Well, I mean, that's the key question, but it's the closest they ever thought they would come. The reality is that the man signing alongside them, Colonel Mohammed Hamdan, known as Hemedti, is the man whose forces were implicated in the killing of protesters. So that, of course, casts a really dark shadow over a lot of this. But the reality is that the protesters pushed and pulled the military to this place. They did not want a hybrid council, let alone the presence of civilians on it. And yet, they're now sharing power with civilians.
So, what do you see for the future? I mean, how confident are you that this sort of new dawn, as it were, will hold?
Well, they have 3 years and 3 months. That's a lot of time before the new elections, before actual independent elections. There's a lot of time for things to go horribly wrong. But all of those we're speaking to on the ground say that the biggest guarantee is the perseverance of the people and how hard they have held to come this far.
That is remarkable. The trial of Sudan's ousted leader, of course, will begin on Monday. Former President Omar al-Bashir facing charges related to corruption. He was removed from power in April following months of protests. As we see, you know, what is going on the ground and what is going on with regard to politics, what do the people of Sudan hope to see from this trial?
They want him executed. And that is the chant that goes up any time somebody mentions his name. They believe that he resulted in the deaths of hundreds of protesters, probably thousands of civilians over his 30-year rule. But the trial itself has really shone a light on the fact that there is still a contingent of people who are very loyal to him. They're having to move the trial from where it was originally supposed to be because there were several attempts at breaking him out of prison. So it shows what is lurking beneath these waters here today.
The military has been accused of horrific atrocities against civilian protesters like yourself, who have expressed fears that their country might end up like Egypt, now run by an old chief, of course. One chant reveals these fears. It goes, Ima al-Nasser wa Ima Masa, which translates to either victory or Egypt. Do you have confidence that Sudan won't end up like
Well, already the timeline is hugely different. The army moved in 10 days after Mubarak stepped down in Egypt. So already people are taking a lot of succor from that. But yeah, there is no guarantee that this isn't, a hydra head, that there isn't the deep state infrastructure lurking and waiting to come back out when the time is right. But again, these people have persevered now for 9 months. It's just shy of 9 months from the day the first demonstrations came out. So this is a huge achievement.
We know that what goes on in Sudan isn't necessarily owned by the Sudanese. We know there is regional influence, and that's not to sort of understate that influence. But I mean, it has been assumed to have been a kind of sort of proxy environment for some time now. You're Sudanese yourself. When you step back from your position as reporting on it, and I guess what I'm asking is to strip the emotion from this, which I know you can do. What is its future? Remind us how involved the international community has been in the past, what sort of support it has offered, and what it needs next to drive itself into what should be an optimistic future for the people of Sudan.
What the Sudanese want and need is debt relief, and that cannot happen without Sudan being taken off the state sponsors of terror list in the US. But you were absolutely right. Aden Jubeir, the Saudi State Minister for Foreign Affairs, was sitting there as this deal was being signed. I mean, that is the biggest indicator of how much is at stake and how much meddling has gone on from the Gulf partners in this, and how much they are afraid, whether it's Egypt or Saudi Arabia or the Emirates, of this democratic contagion of Arab Spring 2.0. But again, the international community has not wanted to support Sudan. They have been forced to support Sudan by the actions of the protesters, and that's what the protesters hope will protect this uprising.
Fascinating. No, always a pleasure. Thank you. Live from London, this is Connect World. Coming up, a landscape of umbrellas in the streets of Hong Kong as protesters brave the rain in what is the 11th straight week of demonstrations. We asked one of the organisers behind the movement what she hopes to see happen next. And still to come, US President Donald Trump made an unprecedented move this week, openly encouraging Israel to bar 2 US congresswomen from entering the country. The latest details on the controversy are ahead.
All new Inside Africa. Unlocking the mysteries behind the continent you thought you knew. Rwanda's rising fashion goes viral and rebrands a nation.
I really like that we've been able to tell our story because we're doing great stuff.
Inside Africa, Tuesday on CNN. In association with Zenith Bank.
Traveling is not just about seeing places with the most likes or getting iconic photos. It's about finding the city's DNA, meeting people who share its secrets. It's about making discoveries that wow you and make you feel like a child again. It's a world of wonder. Now go and see it. Saturday on CNN in association with Turkish Airlines.
Today we live in an unpredictable environment and news races around the world at breakneck speed.
I didn't know what his intention was. I knew it could be obstruction of justice.
My show brings you the latest news and top news makers. Are you playing with fire? And we also dive below the headlines to explore the vital issues impacting our lives.
It's about right and wrong, that you have to stand up for what you believe in.
We need to realize that our future is at risk and we need to take action.
Was that kind of mortifying or did you enjoy it? You were great. It's crucial we make sense of what's happening.
Do you regret that? Do you think there should be nuclear power or more commitment to a clean environment? New Zealand had its experience and changed its laws. To be honest with you, I do not understand the United States. Does love have a chance of winning or do that?
And fully understand what's at stake.
Aman Paul, Tuesday to Saturday on CNN.
And they'll get before their first award, CNN International Correspondent.
Thank you so much. I've been a war correspondent for more than 10 years in every terrible conflict that you can think of, but I have never seen anything on the scale like this.
This is happening right here, right now. Life is dangerous. There are snipers all around. Is that what they want?
This is something you have to do.
This is one of the most unique environments on Earth.
How many hours have you been on the boat?
To humanitarian places growing by the day.
You've got to do justice to the story. How has your life been affected? I won't say you ever really make peace with it, but you can bear witness.
There are very little signs of normal human life.
You cannot feel some level of personal impact.
Clarissa Ward, CNN, London.
I'm Oren Lieberman in Jerusalem, and this is CNN.
this hour, hundreds of thousands of protesters have been on the move in Hong Kong in what has been one of the largest gatherings we have seen in weeks. Organisers say the turnout could be as high as 1.7 million people. All these pro-democracy rallies showing no sign of stopping. They are now in their 11th straight week, sparked, of course, by the extradition bill proposed by Hong Kong's government. Protesters saw that as a threat to the city's rights, freedoms and way of life. But Hong Kong's chief executive, Carrie Lam, says that bill is dead. So why do we still see hundreds of thousands on the streets, in the airports, and creating chaos for a city which sits at the heart of the international financial system, for example? Why is the movement, if anything, gathering more momentum? Well, who better to spell it out for us than the demonstrators themselves? Bonnie Long is one of the organisers of the recent protest. She joins me now from the march in Hong Kong. We cannot by any stretch verify 1.7 million on the streets of Hong Kong braving the rain today, but that's certainly what one of the organising groups is suggesting. Bonnie, I think many people might be surprised to have seen those figures, given what we have seen of late, the sort of violence in the airport, the complaints about the sort of core group of protesters. What do you believe brought people out into the streets again today in Hong Kong?
Well, we can see that as there are still a million of people, more than 1 million people took to the streets. This is our third over million protest. So it is very clear that our 5 demands are endorsed by all these people. And even though the police had used excessive force using lethal weapons against a lot of protesters, we are not being scared away, or we're not going home. So Carrie Lam really has to listen to all these people, and especially when the police had break their rule books many times, it really angered people, and this really has to change, otherwise our city simply cannot move on.
Right, okay, let me put this to you. Emily Lau, I spoke to at the back end of last week. She's, of course, a Hong Kong lawmaker and prominent pro-democracy protester. She voiced concerns about that violent core group of protesters, the evidence of which we saw of late at the airport and at the legislative headquarters. Does that core group, and we haven't seen that sort of violence, I'm not suggesting for a moment we have, been very peaceful today, but what to do with that core group of protesters? Do they need reining in before we see the consequences of their actions once again?
Well, I've seen your interview with Emily actually, and I'm not worried at all, because what I need to worry really is that the government do not listen to us. Those rather young and radical protesters actually, why do they do these radical actions? Is because, as they say themselves, that it is you, meaning the government, who taught us that peaceful demonstration doesn't work. That is why all these radical actions had started. So what we do today really is to put our protest back to totally peaceful. And with this peaceful protest, really, the government no longer have any more excuses to not listening to us. So,
So let me
carry on tomorrow.
Yeah, let me get really specific then. What is it then that you and the others who hit the streets today are asking? Carrie Lam has already said that the extradition bill is dead. So what's next? Specifically, what is it that you are asking for now?
Well, first of all, we want justice, and we want everything to be acted according to rule of law. And while Carrie Lam said the bill is dead, actually the bill is dead. The word dead is not in our statute book. What we need is a total withdrawal of the bill. And second of all,
well, that to happen, would you stop the protest? Let me just stop you for a moment. Was she to entirely withdraw that bill? Would these protests be over?
Well, first of all, I believe that if the bill is totally withdrawn, a lot of people will calm down a little bit. But I was just saying that according to a recent poll, that people is very angry about the police use of excessive force. They're literally dropping tear gas bombs everywhere, including indoor in our MTR stations. So according to these polls, people are equally concerned about the extradition bill as well as the police use of excessive force. So this has to be handled as well. And also, because Hong Kong people have sacrificed a lot, including risking our own lives and risking our own future, just to stop one evil bill, the extradition bill. And this is not acceptable, because whenever the government want to, with the help of the pro-Beijing legislators, they can anytime start another evil bill and another evil bill. And at that time, Hong Kong people will have to come out again and again and sacrifice all over again. So what we need is a justice system. What we need is true democracy. And until we have the real universal suffrage, we believe that we will have a lot of evil bills, not only the extradition bill, that Hong Kong people will need to come out again. So that's not useful.
Ори, thank you for that. We are viewers seeing both sides of this, trying to push out their agenda. It's taking some very inventive forms, I've got to say. Take a listen to this pro-Beijing rap, complete with a cameo from the US president.
Something's probably happening with Hong Kong. Somebody runs the album for us. We started a riot, bring chaos and violence with this, then we stick together. Something's probably happening with Hong Kong. And their vice president. Because Hong Kong is a part of China. They'll have to deal with that themselves. They don't need advice.
It's just the sort of thing that goes viral. And it has. So, of course, hundreds of thousands of people in Hong Kong taking a stand for democracy, they say. But in the UK, democracy, well, that's coming with its own issues. A leak of government documents has emerged, revealing a contingency plan in the event of a no-deal Brexit. And, well, it doesn't make for easy reading. CNN Simon Cullen joining me right now. A leak that the Sunday Times newspaper, of course, has published today. Simon, what's in it? Now concerns you.